Okay, our next presenter this morning is Dustin Hamby with Quantum Energy.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Quantum Energy is a energy-focused company. We're technology first. The last 14 years, our science department has been developing the ability to generate torque and electricity through the use of pairing permanent magnets. In recent discoveries, we have also been able to utilize recapturing of photons through photovoltaic cells that are printed in commercial lighting. This voltage is actually used for the control systems to pair the permanent magnets to create the kinetic energy. Quantum has got great leadership. We'll talk about that a little bit here in the future. But the main goal for the energy and the technology is to produce power where you consume it. So to best illustrate that, I have a quick little video that I'm going to play, and then we'll move on from there.
Most of our U.S. energy infrastructure predates the turn of the 21st century, with the majority of the U.S. transmission lines constructed in the 1950s and 1960s with a predicted life expectancy of 50 years. America is growing in population and in energy demand. Traditionally, we understand power delivery with big electrical lines attached to our homes and businesses. Similar to the historic way we communicated via the telephone, our energy grid is outdated. We have entered a world where we need no wires to communicate anywhere on Earth. Is there a technology that could deliver the same freedom in energy? Introducing Zero Grid, the ability to generate power where you consume it, without the need for transmission lines, substations, or centralized power plants. A new world of energy freedom. Zero Grid, powered by the Earth Engine.
This technology is revolutionary for the renewable energy sector, and I'll talk a little bit about the market here coming up. Utilizing the recapture of the photons, similar to recapturing the heat out of the stacks out of boiler plants to reheat the glycol or the water to reduce energy costs, our ability to recapture voltage from the lighting helps us offset the parasitic draw on our control systems to be able to deliver a net power output to our customers to really deliver the savings that we're targeting for them at a very good price point. The technology is disruptive. It changes the way people look at power. Historically, as I said, we get our power from our utility companies, and with the growth of the solar industry in both commercial and residential market, we've seen an adoption in the consumer marketplace there. This takes it the next step forward. It reduces those costs further, and it also doesn't have to have the sun, the wind, or any other fuel source to generate that electricity. As a company, we've worked really hard to secure our IP. We've spent years developing our patent strategy. We're currently processing, I believe 140 patents are in process right now. Some of them are already pending. A number of our technology will be held in trade secret based on good counsel. And we have high growth opportunities for our revenue. The technology right now is in a pre-revenue state. However, we have pre-sold installations in the market. Once we have our certification and our licensing from our installer network that we were building, we'll be able to deploy those to those pre-sales. What are some of our highlights as a company thus far? Especially looking at, we've been sort of quiet. We've actually been very quiet as we develop the technology. Since 2016, we've raised over $65 million to help in our research and development of the product. It has created a strong balance sheet for us in both assets and cash, and we're sitting on 4 years of operating capital to continue at the current pace. Our real estate assets include a 160-acre processing facility. It's a level 4 laboratory, around 7,000 square foot up in Willwood, Wyoming. We're currently in renovations. I believe within the next couple months, those renovations will be complete and we can start beginning operations up at that location. We also have secured 52 acres in Byron, Wyoming, which will be a production facility. That is getting a 35,000 square foot building put up, and that is also currently in development. Our IP is very, very strong. Being the world's first magnetic propulsion system that can generate electricity, deliver that electricity with zero emissions at a very low cost, and a whole team of engineers and lawyers making sure that we're protected on the patent side there. Recently, we just completed a Wyoming municipal bond that was approved by the governor there. It's $15 million. We sold that bond out in about 6 months. $5 million of that was tax-free for those investors. And this is, we are actually in the midst of a merger right now with Fluid X. Fluid has, in preparation for that merger, has just changed their name to Quantum Energy Corporation, and we're bringing technology and capabilities from Fluid over into Quantum Inc., which is currently trading as QREE. So what is our technology? We've sort of briefed on it a little bit early on. These are direct power systems. So we create the electricity from kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is created by pairing two permanent magnetic fields. I'll talk a little bit about that on the next slide. But in the recent months, we've, to help with both manufacturing efficiencies and efficiencies within our control systems, we have a team of engineers working on artificial intelligence controls. These controls help allow our systems to be more efficient, consume less power. And I have a brief little video that's going to talk a little bit about the whole company as a whole.
Hello, my name is Linda, and I am the future in industrial, commercial and residential energy control. I am a part of the Quantum Artificial Intelligence division, that in the future you can direct your energy needs and actions to. The future of energy, owned and produced by the consumer for industrial, commercial and residential use is direct current. Rare earth elements, photonics and magnetic science has transformed energy delivery, allowing for 100% fully distributed power with significant in situ energy harvesting. Imagine a world with no kilowatt charges, no monthly power bill, or the burdensome taxes added to support the outdated and soon unnecessary electrical grid. Rare earths, including scandium and yttrium, have changed nearly every electrical device that we use in our daily lives. We have become a battery society. Direct current provides additional safety, portability, and cures massive power line and inverter losses that some have estimated waste up to 30% of our produced electrical energy in the United States. Just make a mental note of every DC-based device you use daily. Every computer, your mobile phone, LED lighting, solar lighting, electric razors, even the iconic Tesla Model 3 uses a DC motor. You get the idea. Then why do we invert alternating current to direct current? Because we are stuck with an outdated system put in place over 100 years ago by Westinghouse and General Electric that wanted the consumer to pay monthly for their energy. Quantum is now delivering direct energy products that are owned by the producer, that is ushering in a new and exciting way to own the energy that you need in manufacturing, commercial and retail operations, and in our daily lives. As we say at Quantum, the best investment in the aging electrical grid is zero. Please talk to one of our staff members about how you can learn more about Quantum Direct Energy Systems. Thank you and enjoy the tour.
That is the fun of AI right there. So it's very interesting when we look at the DC side. There's a number of companies coming to market right now with distribution panels, smart homes that are actually powered through Cat 5 and Cat 6 cables. It's low voltage, it's very energy efficient. What the benefit of our technology in that development within the construction industry is we produce DC power. We can produce a lot of it actually. And it fits very well with the direction that construction is going on that side. We actually encourage you guys to go check out our display in the exhibit hall after this. We have one of our photon systems that is illustrating how we're recapturing voltage, wasted photons when we're lighting a room. This voltage and amperage is utilized to run the control systems in our magnetic propulsion engines, which I'll show you next. So these systems, I'll take a minute here to sort of explain it. It's not perpetual motion. Let's start there. This is utilizing the pairing of our proprietary permanent rare earth magnets. We were in science class as kids, and we learned that permanent magnets have equal north and south poles. Their flux fields are equal 50-50. Our team has discovered a way to imbalance those. So we're able to move the flux fields to one side of the magnet or the other in an imbalanced way. Our first iterations were about 65% offset to one of the poles, and our latest iterations have exceeded 90%. So we keep getting better at building the magnets. What we've also discovered is the flux fields create a pressure. That pressure, when properly paired with another magnetic field, can initiate a spin within a flywheel. Now, you've probably gone on YouTube, or if you leave this conference, you'll see 1,000 other people who've tried. One of the big reasons we can do this is because of our imbalanced magnets and the amount of time that we've spent to perfect the geography and the geometry and the timing in which those magnetic fields interact with each other. This has been 14 years of development to get to this point, and we're currently right now in a validation phase. We're retrofitting our whole building with our technology. We've had previously a power room that was powering parts of the building that has been running since 2018, but right now we are working on having the whole building powered by our technology, as well as understanding the production capabilities long-term in a commercial application. Our systems, because it utilizing kinetic energy to turn the alternators, are configurable. So based on the consumer, we can deliver kilowatt hours based on the size of the flywheel, both weight and dimension, at a very, very low cost of energy. And real quick, I got a quick video you can see. This is one of our demonstration units that was in Florida. This is our Model 46. If you look at the top, it actually has one of our first iterations of our own alternator. That's a counter-rotating alternator, where the actual housing is counter-rotating to the coils to double.
Energy. The future is bright, and change is not just coming, it's here today. Find out more at www.qre.energy or contact one of our staff. Thank you, and all of us here at Quantum appreciate you taking the time to listen.
Capacitors and batteries, and then that helps smooth the delivery of the power to the building, or in some cases, a cell tower or remote power. How do we get here? It's been a long road. As I said, this started in 2009 when our lead scientist discovered how we can imbalance the magnet. That imbalance comes from the formulation of the materials that it's made of, how it's manufactured, and how it's charged. It will be held in trade secret as long as I know. That is why we can do what we do. But as you can see, it's taken some time to get to where we are. This isn't an overnight, hey, the last year we just decided to do this. It's been a team of people. It's been a lot of money, and it didn't really start ramping up until around 2017. The technology was self-funded by the scientists until then. Then a team was put together. We started raising money, and we brought in some smart engineers, and we kept growing. And now we're at a point where we have our systems being tested, and we are moving to commercialization. What is the market? The energy sector as a whole. We can service industrial, commercial, residential, and remote power. Remote power including cell towers, remote pumping stations in the oil and gas fields. Wherever someone's consuming electricity, we can generate it and deliver it without the need of transmission. When you look at renewables, because you can classify our technology in the renewable sector, it has grown significantly since the early 2000s. And in 2022 was an $856 billion market in the US. What's driving that is incentive programs and initiatives such as Destination 2050, where the goal is to become net zero, not burn any coal, have clean power throughout the world. Can we get there? Maybe, maybe not. But technology can help drive that point. When the Inflation Reduction Act was signed last year, it also gave the renewable sector a runway, something that it hadn't seen before. Investment tax credits, production tax credits, renewable energy credits, carbon credits, all are within those bills. We're still waiting for guidance. Some of that guidance isn't going to come for another month or two. But what that allows us to do and allows our technology to take advantage of is some huge financial incentives for the consumers, for project owners, for banks. There's almost endless opportunities in the finance world in that case. With the new ITC, we can actually stack tax credits up to 70% of a project cost to help with the capital stack on delivering projects to the consumers, which is a huge benefit in certain areas. Our technology, we're hoping to go to market with a cost savings to the consumer without having to take advantage of the ITCs. However, with the ITCs, it makes it very beneficial for the customer. So real quick, I'll go back here. Back with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, there's about $80 billion in government money set aside to develop the renewable energy sector. They only used about $40 billion of that. With the new IRA, that additional 40 is rolled over, and they've added another $250 billion that they're looking to deploy to increase America's use of renewable energy. And it has to be spent pretty quickly. So this is a huge incentive for our company and our technology to really get to market quickly to allow the customers to take advantage of these incentives. So why quantum? We're breakthrough technology. In a lot of cases, you don't see something that is very disruptive in such a big market. We feel with direct energy, with distributed energy, this is transformational for consumers and for the energy market to reduce costs, reduce carbon output, and just shake up the energy market as a whole. Our infrastructure in the U.S. needs billions of dollars lines. And right now, the renewable energy sector, their projects, solar projects, wind projects, they're getting delayed because they don't have transmission. Our solutions fix that. We don't have to have transmission lines because we're creating the power where it's consumed. We don't need any sun, wind, hydro. It's just the pairing of those permanent magnets. We're also the first to the market. There's been others that have attempted. They haven't got to this point. And quite honestly, I think it's because they didn't have the money. This takes a lot of money in research. And we have a great team that has gotten us there. We are committed to the product first. R&D is a big thing for us, and we feel that if we don't continue to learn about this new science, if we don't continue to develop products around that science, that we'll get left behind once competition comes into the marketplace. We hear a lot about energy storage, especially when we have rolling brownouts and blackouts in states like California. In some cases, you could repurpose our engines rather than just for power production. You could actually use them for energy storage in conjunction with a solar photovoltaic installation or even a wind installation. So when the sun goes down or the wind quits blowing, we can still deliver power for those systems. So it's a great secondary market for the technology as we move forward. How do we grow the company? It's about distribution. It's about a good consumer offering. We're going to be servicing the industrial, commercial, remote power, and residential market sectors. when we go to market, we're going to go to market at 30% savings to the current energy cost that consumer is paying. It's an analysis that we do both on the consumption and demand side, and we size systems and the offering to them based on what that looks like. We as a smaller company don't have the ability to go be a licensed electrician in every single. So to be able to commercialize quickly and without a tremendous amount of capital to do so, we are actually licensing distributors. These are licensed electricians. These are solar contractors in individual states and counties. We already have a number of these in due diligence as we speak. That this exercise started back in February, and we've had a great response to companies looking to expand their service offerings, especially when we look at solar companies that have a book of business that traditionally would be a one-time transaction. They can go actually resell those same customers and add, upgrade their systems with our engines and pair those together to deliver 100% power. These are going to be regional and qualified. We qualify them through our due diligence process to make sure that we have solid partners to deploy the technology quickly and cost effectively for the business. We have to be able to manufacture. Right now, we have 2 facilities under construction, as referenced earlier, up in Willwood and Byron. Our R&D facility you see here at the top, that has pre-production abilities for delivering product, but we have to scale our manufacturing. That's going to be done through acquisitions and purchasing current manufacturing facilities that have capacity that we can fill. This is also an activity that has been in the works and will continue to grow regionally as we hire on more distributors to fill that demand. So what does that look like? So Quantum, if you look at the right of this chart, this is what we've been. We've been a research and development firm. We have the admin side to make sure that once we go to market, we are ready. The left side of the chart is where we're going, expanding manufacturing for all divisions of our products, securing the licensed distribution network, and also building the financial mechanisms for the consumers to be able to finance that product. We are going to continue our R&D commitment. I've said it a couple times, the science of magnetism is fairly new, and there's a lot of universities learning a lot about it. We've learned a lot about it over the last several years. We're going to continue to invest in ourselves, invest in our R&D, invest in the products so that we can build value for our shareholders, build revenue opportunities in the future. And we're going to be very aggressive on our mergers and acquisitions. That is to build up manufacturing capacity, potentially bring on other technologies that we didn't develop. And it's strategic in where we're going. If we got distributor channels in the Southwest, we're going to grow our manufacturing capacities there. We try to be very good stewards of the investment money that we bring in from our shareholders. Being able to have 4 years of operating capital shows that we're just not burning cash. We're very strategic on when we spend money, how we spend money, and where we spend it. Our strengths. I didn't touch on it earlier. Our leadership team comes with a big variety of experience. Our chairman of the board, Mr. William Hines, comes out of the aerospace industry. He was the president CEO of Allied Signal Aerospace Europe, president of or CEO of Triumph North American Airlines. He's grown, taking companies public. Our new chief operating officer, former CFO, he comes out of Eagle Pitcher Battery. Great experience in the battery sector, really helping us develop what we're doing in our storage capacity side. We have solid finance team. I don't want to go through the list because I'm running out of time. I could talk for an hour up here, but the leadership is very strategic. It's just not a bunch of scientists and engineers. You have business leaders, you have business-minded individuals driving the company to revenue with shareholder value first and foremost. Just a reminder on, and then I'll take some Q&A as I get closer here on time. This is a revolutionary technology. You know, we get a lot of skeptics, and we're fine with that. We'll sit and we'll talk for questions. We're learning a lot through that on how we're going to best market the technology to the consumer to remove some of that skepticism in the future. And we feel that we're going to be very disruptive within a fast-growing industry. With that, investor relation questions can go to Hayden IR. Actually, Brett's sitting in the room with us right here. But I'll take questions from the room right now. Since we got about 5 minutes left, I want to give enough time if anyone has any questions. Going once, twice. Okay, thank you all for the time.